What's up, everybody? This is Ben Stiles and Ryan Wert.
What's going on, guys?
We're bringing you the third and final round of the 2017 Charleston Classic down in Charleston. So we're starting off today. It's going to be on hole 5. It's a decently long hole, but it's a tricky shot. You've got to either throw a backhand turnover that stays right pretty far, a little fade on the end, or a forehand that does the exact opposite. So it's a split fairway going on each side. I believe that's me throwing my shot and just throwing a
little bit high there.
shot.
Just a little bit high there.
Yeah, caught a little trees, a little rubbish.
Yeah. And here's me doing what I like to do. Nope, I forgot. I didn't shank it to the left this time.
It's a decent shot. That should give you a long putt at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got down to the left-hand side.
Yeah, I went straight into that grouping of trees in the middle. And there's Lee throwing a nice little hyzer shot.
Yeah, he's got that pushing down there. Gets down that left fairway. That's
a really good spot. Good look at the putt there.
Yeah, this is a hard basket to attack. Really, you're going to try to throw something straight down there, try to get a putt, and there goes old Whiplash.
Trying to flex forehand there.
Yeah, he didn't get it nearly the throw he wanted on it. He's ended up in the crap over there. That's not where he wants to be. Another little forehand look at it.
Got Allen's shot, little flip up forehand.
That's a nice pull.
Yeah, it is.
I think he's in those woods there, but he should have an obstructed look. 2's hard on this hole. 3's a great score here.
I don't believe I saw one all weekend.
I didn't either.
Yeah, we didn't see one all weekend.
I played with you all weekend.
There's Mike's attempt to get out of there. It was thick over there where he was at. It was not good.
Pretty much throw a roller and try to get through.
Nice little
upshot around the trees. Put it a little deep. Should be a putt, but it should be inside a circle.
Here's Mike again after his roller attempt.
Trying to do a long putt through the edge of the woods here. Trying to save his par. I just left it a little low. Little jump move there.
I'm trying to get through. There's nothing at all.
Yeah,
I'm just really trying to lay out.
That middle section
the
is
last
just
tree.
super thick in there.
It is.
Leave a little forehand run at it, but yeah, you can just see how thick. Once you get in that middle section there, it's just absolutely jail.
Good little bid from Lee.
Yeah, Lee taking a long putt at it.
A little short.
Having a 2-putt on that hole is great.
Oh, yeah. I didn't have one all weekend.
I didn't either. I tried, but just couldn't get it to go. And I think that was my putt off the top of the basket. Just couldn't convert on that little simple putt.
This is me hiding over by the tree.
Still in the woods.
Yeah, I didn't get out.
Nice putt.
Thank you. That one felt good to get going.
It's nice to can one from the edge of the woods to start the hole off, save that par, keep going.
Definitely. I was a little sketchy about that one at first.
Yeah. So this is everybody else just finishing out the hole, tapping in their birdies or pars and bogeys. Me tapping in my bogey, Mike tapping in his bogey, and just get out of here and move on to the next hole here. So
get out into the open and away from some grouping of trees there.
So you can see some birdies or some pars and some bogeys, and we'll be moving on to the next hole. That hole put me and Ryan back to even, tied up.
We're ready to battle it out. This one. This was a fun one.
So this is a fairly open hole. It's completely open. What you're going to do here off the drive, do what Ryan does exactly. Just throw something out there straight. Finish a little left is good. Finish a little right is good. Finish a little straight is good. As long as you don't throw it in the woods, you've done a great shot.
Or straight into the ground.
Yeah, Alan had a habit of doing that this weekend, but
Lee put a good move on it.
It's a great shot by Lee.
Yeah, he spammied that one.
Yeah, he did.
There was always like somewhat of like a tail crosswind on this one.
Yeah, there was always some. This course had wind on every hole in every situation.
And Alan making the correction.
Yeah,
crushing it.
Throwing a great smash out there. And I'm taking my moderately flippy Wraith and just throwing it a little hyzer, just throwing it hard and just throwing it down there where I got an easy approach is the plan.
What is this hole? 666, I think?
I think so. 666 and a quarter.
And a quarter. Yeah. I like what they did there. That's cool.
So we're about to see Mike come up for his drive. He's going to go backhand on this one, it looks like.
It's a good move on it.
A little too more hyzer than he wanted. It's going to push him out to that left side over there.
I think he was trying to play that flex route there.
Yeah, just didn't quite get it turned over. But anything out in the open is a great shot. At this level, there's not really a distance that you're going to throw if you throw a decent drive that you can't attack the basket.
Yeah, exactly.
throw a 300 to 400 foot shot, and then throw a 200 to 300 foot shot up to the basket.
Yeah.
It's all about the placement on that second shot.
Yeah. That tree, if you get too far right, can be very obstructing.
Yeah.
Here's Alan throwing a nice flick up.
Yeah. Comes in, gets around that tree. Should put him up on the basket. That should be a good putt from there.
Should be with 20 to 25 or so.
Something like that, yeah. This will be Mike throwing a forehand approach here. The wind really favored the forehand here, with it being a little left to right attacking the basket, so you could leave it farther left and let it just float into the basket. So he's throwing a nice little approach there. Great shot by Mike. This will be Ryan throwing his forehand approach, and he got all of it. That's the only thing about that left to right wind is if you get it underneath that flight plate, it can really lift your disc a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But Ryan's a good putter, so we'll see what he can do from back there.
It looks like
Another little forehand approach. If you haven't seen a forehand approach to this basket, there's another one.
that tree was nice though. If you were too high, it knocked a few down.
Yeah, it made it difficult putting. And I think this is Ryan from about 45.
Narnia.
45 in the woods.
Yeah.
I still had the best score on the whole.
It was. I think I did. I flicked out there. That's right. There wasn't much over there.
Yeah, it was jail over there, but
Here's Alan.
good
Or
approach.
no, this is you.
This is me for my should be decent putt, but as you've seen the rest of the videos, putting weekend was not happening.
I don't think any of us putted well that weekend.
Let's blame it on the cold and the wind.
Yeah.
There goes the missed putt. That was hurt. Mike coming back.
And Mike, there you go.
Saving
That's
his
how it's
par.
supposed to be done. Is that par for Mike?
Yeah, that was just 3, because it's a 3, right?
No,
Or is this a par 4?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's just a long par. Or
Here's my
short.
comeback.
Good par save there.
Yeah, I was happy with that after that terrible second shot.
That's me tapping in my par. And then I believe this is Alan coming out of the woods.
Alan coming out of the woods, and that is that for his 3 there?
Yeah, I believe that was for
That
his
was
3.
his 3, yep.
I believe Alan. Yeah, Alan got the 3 and Mike got the 3.
Okay, cool.
So moving on.
7.
This is
one of my favorite holes out here.
This is a great hole. Of all the holes on the course, this is probably my favorite.
I would have to agree with that. It's beautiful.
Plays pretty much a straight shot like Mike's thrown here. I think he threw a fairway driver here, so it's going to get a little bit of a skip at the end. I tried doing that in my practice rounds, and it worked out pretty well. But during the tournament, I was either getting bad releases and pulling it to the right, or getting big skips and it was going in the woods to the left. So Ryan's throwing, what are you throwing, a rock through
Yeah, I
here?
was throwing a KC Pro flat rock. And I finally didn't hit a tree throughout the fairway.
It was a lucky disc for you all weekend.
It
Throw it in the
was.
woods and it'd pop out in the fairway. But this time you just laced it and did right what you need to do. Just throw a mid-range straight, and then second shot you're just going to throw a mid-range straight, and that's going to put you right up by the basket.
Lee just a little early on the cut there.
A little early. It's tough because it looks like you want to throw that big hyzer, but if you throw that hyzer, anything off the fairway here is just disastrous.
Yes.
Allen's pulled that one a little bit too.
But he snuck out right into the middle. He's
It's
right
always
there at
good.
at the corner.
And I'm throwing a buzz here, just trying to throw something straight, let it finish a little bit over to the left. Is the plan. So straight.
That looks really good.
Straight. Yeah,
And that should be perfect. That's where you want to be.
it's the first time I hit that fairway the entire weekend, so that felt good. Last year they had this hole playing the opposite direction, coming back, and it played as a much more difficult hole for me.
And I believe it was a little longer last year.
It was a little longer. It was about 150 feet longer, I think. But I really like the way the hole plays this year. It's a good layout.
It's a good change to the hole.
Yeah. Allen throwing his approach shot, throwing a little hyzer around the corner.
That looks really good.
That should be nice.
Should be definitely in the circle there.
Yeah.
Tested that right side of the fairway all the way down. That's what you want to do.
Exactly. And Ryan throwing approach. You're throwing the same disc you threw for the drive,
Yeah,
right?
I picked it up. I said it's feeling good. And I threw another dead straight, and I was very, very happy with it.
That puts you, 15 feet out? That's a great
I'd say
approach.
15 feet, yeah. This is Mike.
This is Mike from the edge of the woods where he caught that little flare and
Yep.
skipped in.
Put some nice flex on it.
So he's throwing another forehand turnover.
Just didn't get it quite over enough. He's
Not quite
down
enough.
there. He's down there pretty good.
He'll have a putt.
Oh, yeah.
This is from my drive. I'm throwing the same disc I threw from my drive again. It's because it felt good, and I didn't quite get it turned over like I wanted to. I wanted to get a little flex in it, but
You're down there. You're definitely in the circle.
that's going to get me side of circle. So a 3-putt on this one will be my first time putting for 3 on this whole weekend, so it's an improvement. I'm happy.
Here's Lee coming out of the woods.
And right back in the woods. That's the tough thing about being in the woods here is you feel like you need to make a move towards the basket, but
Yes.
sometimes you feel like you can, but then it's just
Lateral movement's not always the worst thing on this hole.
pitch out and throw down the fairway.
Yeah.
I think that's what he did here. We missed the next shot. He actually pitched out of the woods from the other side and had to throw up towards the basket.
It's gel over there.
It's gel.
Either side.
Yeah. And that was Mike throwing his little approach shot.
That was beautiful.
Put it right up by the basket. I believe this is Allen coming back out of the edge of the woods.
Okay.
He was in that little cut that's there. Nice little approach shot. Good shot. This will be my putt from about 30.
Yeah, right at circle's edge.
I just didn't commit to it enough. I had to go to a little bit of a straddle just because some low-lying branches were in my way.
That left side over there did seem to have a few just kind of hanging out.
Into the fairway, which just made the putts more difficult. Just like on the right-hand side, you see this big bush to the right of the basket hanging out. It can punish a decent approach. You got to make sure your approach, even if you're in the circle, has got to be where you need it to be.
Exactly. That's a good cleanup there.
So moving on here, scores are getting a little tighter towards the bottom of the card. We got 3 guys that tied at 142 in 3rd place, and then Ryan's got me by 1 stroke now. Moving on, this is a cool little hole. So there's a hanging tree over the fairway. Basket plays pretty much straight. I threw an overstable mid-range down the wide gap on the right-hand side and just try to play it a little hyzer in, a little skip back towards the basket.
Yeah, that's the same play I tried to go with. I think that's the best play for the hole.
I do. It's the biggest gap for sure. You could take it tighter if you wanted to, but with as big as that gap is towards the right-hand side, you can see all these guys are doing pretty much the same thing.
Playing for a little bit of a skip and check up. And
I saw a lot of Firebirds thrown on this hole too.
Yes.
That's what a lot of guys were throwing that low Firebird, getting that little skip. But anything that makes through that gap is going to kind of trickle towards the basket if you're throwing that backhand route.
There's some nice brush up there to kind of catch anything going left.
Anything that tries to skip left is going to get caught up in the heavy stuff over there.
Here's you throwing that Buzz OS.
My favorite disc, man. So, pretty good move on this. I left it a little lower than I intended, but I got a good reaction off the ground. Moved it up towards the basket, so I'm pretty happy with that. Is this Lee?
This is Lee here. Yep.
Yeah.
Lee throwing. I don't remember exactly what he was throwing. But I'm gonna say maybe P2 was he throwing
P2, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Trying to get that big skip. So he made the gap, got it up there, and I think we're all inside the circle here. See if we can't put together star frames and get us going.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Sorry.
Pulling him right. I'm still out.
Sorry, forgot about that one, Ryan.
Yep. Had a good comeback putt.
That's
but
what matters.
I just couldn't get this hole. I parked it in the second round and still missed a putt. I believe everybody else gets this one.
Ryan ruining the star frame, huh?
Yeah.
Lee tapping in a good little putt there.
Oh, yeah.
And then Mike, 10-footer.
All day.
Everybody should be making 10-footers. We tested that theory throughout the weekend, but
We did. We had a rough go at it. It was cold and windy.
it was cold and windy. We're going to leave it at cold and windy.
And wet. It was
And wet. Oh, man. Wet. That was me cleaning up my birdie.
Nice birdie there.
Thanks, man.
Tied it back all up.
Tied it back up, and the bottom of the card's still all tied up.
Oh, yeah.
It's a tight
Got a
race.
few battles going on right here.
So, moving on, this is a low ceiling forehand shot. I play it with a mid-range, trying to play mostly an air shot, pushing the ceiling to the left, and just let it finish over towards the right-hand side. And I believe you went Firebird this week.
I went Sexton Firebird. I believe that's what Mike's going here, is Sexton Firebird.
I believe so, too. He throws Firebirds. I think he's gotten away from the FD3s, but it's the same kind of shot, that overstable fairway, playing for that skip.
Yep. I try to, Alan, a little early Yeah.
That right side over there, again,
is not nice.
not pretty over there. So this is my Buzz OS again. And the only thing with the mid-range is you can't get that skip you need to get right. So I've got to throw more of an air shot and really push the ceiling to try to get under it.
And you did just that.
So I threw
really
the shot
good
I
move.
wanted it exactly how I wanted it to. I left it a little higher than I needed, so it's going to put me past the basket, but in the circle.
Here's Lee throwing that forehand. I believe he was going Firebird as well.
He did, the Sexton Firebird. He got it a little high, but I think he got up there where you should be able to
I think
putt.
so, definitely. Here I am going Sexton Firebird as well.
Seems to be a really good disc.
Yeah. It works well for this hole.
Good shot. Got a good little skip on that one.
Yeah, I try to play a slight flex and just catch some edge and
There you go.
scoot up. Here's Mike from...
Difficult putt from that
Yeah.
right-hand side.
And there's a low-hanging branch. I don't know if you can see it, but it comes into play a little bit. That's a good out.
Good out. Put him up by the basket.
Don't want to mess with this elevated basket.
Oh, he threw a tomahawk and just kind of got it domed down and got it slab towards the basket. You can see
Lee with about 40 feet.
just canned it on that elevated basket. That's a great putt. This is me from about 20, 25 and never hit anything. So
Here's
Mike coming back for his par, yeah.
Well, he must have got a little roll off the
Off the backside.
backside there. It looked like he put it close.
With those tiers down there, if you get an edge rolling off those, you could roll away pretty easily. You clean up the 2.
Yeah, I got a 2 there.
Nice deuce.
Happy to get that one after how it treated me the previous day.
Yeah, round 2, it roughed you up a little bit.
It did.
It's a good putt there.
And that was for your 2. No, that was your comeback for 3.
Would come back for 3. Feels good to hit the comebacker, especially after you airball the initial putt.
You lose a lot of that confidence you have going in.
Yeah.
I know how that felt. I think I pulled 5 right at least.
Yeah. That was a good cleanup from Mike,
Oh yeah.
saving his bogey there. Alan tapping in his easy.
Easy birdie. He put it right up to the timbers. That's
So
what you want.
that puts me 1 stroke behind Ryan because he hit that one. Great putt. This is a really cool hole. So it plays as there's 3 guardian clumps of trees that play. You're pretty much going to pipe this thing about 400 feet. If you can get it to hyzer left, if you have the arm to make sure you clear and get to that 3rd gap and hyzer in, it is attackable, but the wind's got to be blowing the right direction and you got to have a cannon. So I believe you're going for this because you kind of got lucky and punched in
Yes.
round 2.
Yeah. I threw it and I was able to funnel through and have a 20-foot putt. I tried to do it again and I don't think I got quite as much into it that time.
Round 2, we had a good little right to left wind. This round it was kind of calm, so you just kind of pushed up there. But you hit the gap, and you should have a look at it.
Oh look, I think I'll see it. This was Alan throwing up here. He threw up just safe, right?
He's a little tight on the left-hand side, but he should have a look. So with the wind not being right, I'm just thinking throw it straight, get myself an easy approach into the basket. So playing just a wraith on a little baby hyzer to flat and just kind of
Shmammy, dude.
put it a little deeper than I wanted to. Got a good flex on it and just carried a little farther than intended, but good open approach to the basket from there. Mike throwing a smash here, pumping it out there, getting a good skip.
Trying to play for. I think he was saying he wanted to play for that jump putt there. Right?
Yeah, he wanted a nice little jump putt, maybe attack the basket, but an easy 3. So this was me on my approach. I left it a little to the right. I didn't quite get the flip I needed on that forehand approach, but I should be in putting range. This is
That's Lee throwing up. Nice little turnover, straight shot.
Yeah, good little putter approach. And Mike having to take an interesting route. Little forehand hyzer hop. So a little hyzer got him in close to the basket, so he should have a good little putt from there. And then this should be Alan.
This is Alan. He's trying to go around with a little flick shot.
Trying to go through the gap around the backside and get a little flare up towards the basket. The backside's open. It's just if you end up in that cluster of trees there,
It is another spot of gel on this course.
And that was a great shot. I put him up there right by the basket. He should have an easy putt from there. And I think this is your putt.
I think so. I just pushed it a little left. It was about 45 with a tree in the way. And this is you putting for a 3 here.
Yeah, this is my 3 putt. A little straddle to get up underneath there.
You had it pinched up under that tree a little bit there, that low bush.
Straddle putts are never my favorite, but it feels good to get one.
Yeah, and everybody just tapping in their 3s.
So not much scoring change happening on that hole. Everybody's still playing the same. Ryan's still up by 1. moving on to another wide open hole. Guarded basket is hidden in a cluster of trees, but ideally your drive is going to be straight, maybe a little bit of a hyzer finish, but really nobody's going to be able to throw past the basket where it's going to be a problem. You're going to throw a drive out there and then a nice little putter approach up to the basket and then just hit your putt.
This is a grip and rip hole. You can really throw it as hard as you want, and if it goes a little right, a little left, it doesn't matter. It still puts you in good position.
Yeah, the only mistake you can really make here is to not put the distance on it. As long as you're throwing it over 300, 350,
you're in really good position.
You have a simple approach to the basket. The 2 here is not really anything that's going to be anything I could dream of. Possibility it's out of my range because it's.
You'd be looking at about 130 foot throw in, 140-ish foot throw in.
Yeah.
We didn't see any, but there were a few close ones.
Yeah, there were a few that could have gotten in there. The top pros could probably attack this basket because it's in a distance where if you've got 500 feet of distance, you can make this work. But
definitely. You put a good move on that one there.
Yeah, I've got a little nose up, and Mike on the tee pad right behind me, and pretty much replicates what I did. Threw it out there, got a little nose up. He's going to push a little left, but it's out in the open, open attack to the basket. The only thing that can come into play on this approach is there is a little bit of low ceiling as you're playing, and Mike, with where he was lined up, could actually throw the hyzer and have completely avoid the low ceiling. I'm taking forehand here, trying to push the ceiling to try to make sure I can get it over this little mud puddle that's sitting there because I don't want to throw it from the water. And just didn't quite get the hyzer on it, and it just kind of filtered over to the left-hand side. But still a putt.
Here's Allen, forehand approach.
He's throwing a little bit higher hyzer and just kind of playing it into the trees and letting it filter down towards the basket.
That's a great play. I saw him do that, and I was like, man, that's a smart play.
It is smart. Let the disc and the trees do the work for you.
Here's Lee.
Lee threw a smash on this one. He got it about 40, 50 short of the basket and off to the right. But it makes for a nice simple approach, and then you crush this thing.
Yeah, put a good move on it.
Just a nice little P2, almost a jump putt approach to the basket.
I was torn.
So this is me for my par save from
35 or so.
About there. And he just
The
left it
putting
right.
woes continue
They do.
for everyone.
So they're just going to see these guys clean up from inside 15 feet for their easy threes, which is ideally what you should be taking on this hole. Not going to be many twos. Not going to be too many fours, but just a lot of threes.
Here's Lee cleaning up. A little tap in.
Me coming back for my bogey. This will be Mike for his 3.
Putt.
And then you for your 3 as well. So Ryan's putting a little distance on me there. He's got me by 2. Lee and Allen are tied up, taking a couple strokes back on Mike. This hole's really fun too. It's a very difficult par 3. I found out, I told Ryan when we were playing the first round, I was like, this is a hole that nobody's ever going to 2. And then the second round I actually got it, and I was trying to do the same thing again and just turned it over a little bit too much. Didn't quite read the wind right, but I got through under the canopy down there, so I should have an approach.
Yeah.
So somehow missed the rest of those drives there. Sorry about that. Moving on to the approach shots. So Ryan's throwing a forehand here. Good little approach to the basket. This will be Allen. Oh, he just kind of turned that over a little bit.
Yeah.
But he's going to be circle's edge over there on the left-hand side.
I have an open putt at it. A little downhill maybe. Hill.
Depends on where he sits on that hill, yeah.
Who was that over there?
I believe that was me trying to throw a forehand Annie out of the tree because I was right behind that tree directly aligned with the basket. Left in a tough line, but I put it up there about where Allen is for his putt, so a look. Lee's approach, Mike's drive way off to the left over there, but he throws a great approach, puts it right up by the basket. I believe this is Allen putting. You can't really see him, but he's back in those woods over there.
He cans it.
Cans
that was a great putt.
Incredible.
And here's Ben. You can't see him too well.
Yeah, I'm hidden back in the bushes there, throwing a straddle putt. Make good on that putt. That one felt good.
Definitely. That was awesome.
And
Two
then-
good putts from over there.
and everybody else is just tapping in, playing his hole easy like it should be.
Take your 3 and move on.
Yeah.
2's a bonus.
Definitely a bonus too. So that was hole 12. Ryan still got me by a 2-stroke lead. Still the same score as the rest of the card. Moving on to hole 13. Hole 13, man, I feel like this hole played longer than it said, even though we checked the distance. It was pretty much right on, but
Wow.
it was 350, but it played every bit of 400 feet. I guess it was
agree.
the wind or whatever, but pretty much full throw here.
It
And
was like a slight headwind on this hole all weekend. I felt like really maybe made a lot of drag on the disc.
it could be.
Lee put a good move on that one there.
The tee pad on this hole was a little rough too. They did move it from yesterday just a little bit to the side, so it was a little bit better, but with the amount of rain they got right before the tournament, it really made the footing on the tee pads difficult. And Ryan is throwing an incredible shot here. That thing turned, flexed, and I think you're, 10 feet out?
I think 10 feet or so.
That's
was probably
great
one
drive.
of the best shots of the tournament for me.
It's great. Allen throwing a little air bounce there. Trailing over.
He got a good pull on that.
Good
He should
pull.
be right inside the circle.
Yeah, it's a great shot.
Yes, it was.
And Mike trying to find a dry spot or a firm spot to throw his whiplash forehand from. And
Just got it up in the air a little too
Yeah.
much there.
a little nose up, stalling out to the right. But
Jump putt at it. I've
it's
seen
out in the
Mike.
open.
That's in Mike range.
Mike can putt from a long ways
Yes, he
out.
can.
So I'm going to pretty much do the same thing that Mike did. Try to throw that forehand out there, let it turn and flex a little bit, and turn to the basket. Got a little more turn on it than I wanted to, but it's going to be just outside the circle.
Crushed that one.
So I'm not
That's a
unhappy.
good shot.
Here's Mike from about 45, 50. Oh, maybe close to like
80.
60 or 80, yeah. So good little jump putt approach.
Here's Lee, maybe from about 40, 45 probably. He put a good bid on it.
Good run.
Here's Ben. From right outside the circle, would you say? Right
Yeah,
outside?
just outside the circle. Just enough so I could step and still leave it
A
short.
little
And Allen from about 15. So you can see Allen's about 15 feet out, and Ryan still hasn't thrown his putt. So
putt.
good putt.
Allen.
Allen's got a really soft, really floaty putt. Like, he never looks like he has enough power on it, but it just keeps floating through the
going,
air.
Yeah. It's awesome to watch.
It's pretty fun. Because you're like, oh, that's like 30 feet short, and it just like keeps going through the air. So all of us just tapping out here, taking our pars. Ryan with the lone birdie. And then this is actually the CTP
man.
flag, and in order to figure out if it was our CTP flag, he had to walk in the water, and it's about 40 degrees right now.
It is very cold.
So it was our CTP, so he took that flag and moved it up by his disc to reward that great drive.
Yeah, that was rough. My feet actually got warmer and after 10 minutes because they went numb.
So moving on to hole 14. Hole 14 is probably one of the better holes on the course. It's a wide open grip and rip drive with a tight tunnel down towards the basket as you get closer to the green. It's more of a placement drive off of here, so you can have a good clean approach to the basket. But it's a really good hole.
It is. It's one of my favorites on the course.
So Allen's done the thing you don't want to do. It looks like he's turned it a little bit. You can just see at the end of the shot that there's a little lake that is formed in the edge of the woods there that is disastrous. You may have seen that from Ryan in the previous round.
That's also almost knee deep over there.
It is quite deep. And Allen has turned it over, or Lee has left it over to the right-hand side. So he's
in that swampy
area over there, which is kind of tough. I'm blaming these shots on this tee pad. You can see the tracks here. This tee pad is a little rough.
They moved it over to help for this round, but the ground was just so soft.
So soft, it was hard to keep it up.
Mike put a good rip on this one.
Mike can throw far.
He can.
He was saying that according to the distances this weekend, he only threw about 250, but
I think he's off by at least 150.
I think you're right. So I'm trying to throw a backhand turned over here, and I turned it way too much. I misjudged the wind here. I should have thrown a little bit more stable. Lee took casual relief from the water to his first playable lie, so he's got himself a drier spot to throw from so that he can actually plant and not have to wade through the water to throw.
tries to get it high to get around that corner and get in there a little bit. And I think he just got hung up by some branches.
Yeah, there's a lot of high stuff there. You got to go low and you got to play it into the gap.
Yep.
It's a really difficult shot.
The mistake I made, it just floated up a little too high there and caught a branch and kicked me down in the fairway.
Yeah.
Here's
Mike throwing an approach shot, trying to just go straight down that gap to reward himself for that good shot. And he makes it in the gap, so we'll have to see where he ends up down there.
I was standing behind him, and he whipped that shot, and it was just way in there.
So I'm trying to throw a big sky ante up over those trees because I left myself pinched because I did it in practice. And it caught the wind just right, and it glided all the way back to where I'm standing in about 100 feet into the woods. About as terrible a shot as I could have thrown from there. So that felt great.
It looked good at first, and then the wind just grabbed it, and it went back.
Yeah, I was wanting to just keep turning, and it just kind of stabled out with the wind.
Here's Alan throwing a flick.
Nice little approach at the basket. That should get him inside a circle.
Trying to run this here. I was trying.
Try it.
But it was about 100, I'd say 80 to 100, and a little out of my range.
Still put you up close for the easy. These would be, I think you're 3?
My 4.
4, okay.
And there was Lee coming out, and he put a really good bid on it with that ante.
So you can see from there, that's my second shot out of the woods. So my first shot got me to that point, which was still buried in the woods. So that gives you an idea of how deep I went in there off of that shot. I thought he had it.
Dude.
It was a good little move on that one. Ryan coming back, canning the putt. Nice putt.
Nice putt there.
Dude, that's Alan. Kind of hard in the shadows to tell who's who.
Yeah, it is.
So I'll just clean it up here, moving on. Ryan's now got me by 4, and then Lee and Mike are and Alan are all making a move, trying to come up to second place. So
it's getting really tight.
It's getting tight. We'll be back shortly with the back nine, so stay tuned, fellas. Bye.